Have you ever wondered why, sometime after 40, the night stops feeling like refuge and begins to feel like a negotiation? You lie down exhausted, yet your mind hums with a quiet voltage, as if sleep has become something you must chase rather than receive. In midlife, this shift can feel personal, even alarming, but it is profoundly biological. The architecture of sleep changes as the brain ages. Deep slow-wave sleep gradually declines, REM cycles redistribute, and the circadian rhythm subtly advances, nudging you awake earlier than you intend. Hormonal transitions, especially fluctuations in estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, alter thermoregulation and stress responsiveness. Cortisol patterns become less predictable. Add chronic stress, professional responsibility, caregiving demands, and the relentless stimulation of modern life, and the nervous system remains in a state of hyperarousal long after the lights go out. From a neurobiological perspective, insomnia in midlife is rarely about laziness or weakness. It is about a brain that has learned to remain vigilant. The human brain is exquisitely adaptive. That is its strength and its vulnerability. When stress persists, the amygdala heightens threat detection. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis amplifies cortisol release, and the prefrontal cortex struggles to quiet repetitive thought loops. Sleep requires surrender, yet the midlife brain often feels compelled to scan for danger, unfinished tasks, or imagined futures. This hyperarousal state disrupts the delicate balance between inhibitory neurotransmitters like GABA and excitatory signals such as glutamate. The result is lighter sleep, more frequent awakenings, and the frustrating sense of being awake while exhausted. You may spend 8 hours in bed, yet wake feeling as though you have run a marathon in your mind. It is at this crossroads that many people seek relief through sedative medications. Benzodiazepines, such as lorazepam or clonazepam, and non-benzodiazepine hypnotics, like zolpidem and ezopicolone, act primarily by enhancing GABA signaling, the brain's primary inhibitory pathway. In the short term, they can quiet neural firing, reduce sleep latency, and create the sensation of rest. The relief feels immediate, almost miraculous. For someone who has endured weeks or months of fragmented nights, the promise of a single pill restoring order can seem like salvation. And yet, the brain does not passively accept external sedation. It recalibrates. Tolerance begins subtly. Receptors downregulate. The same dose produces less effect. The brain, striving for equilibrium, reduces its intrinsic capacity to generate sleep pressure. Dopamine pathways, associated with reward and reinforcement, begin to encode the medication as a solution to distress. What started as temporary assistance can slowly become a nightly requirement. Over time, the line between managing insomnia and sustaining dependence blurs. When the medication is reduced, rebound insomnia often emerges, sometimes more intense than the original sleep difficulty. This rebound is not proof that you are broken. It is evidence of neuroadaptation. Understanding these mechanisms reframes the narrative. Midlife sleep disturbance is not a personal failure. It is a predictable intersection of biology, psychology, and environment. The question is not whether you will experience changes in sleep after 40. The question is how you will respond to them. Will you outsource regulation to chemistry alone, or will you begin to retrain the nervous system itself? The answer requires patience, insight, and a willingness to examine not only what happens at night, but how you live during the day. What makes this moment in midlife so precarious is not simply the biology of sleep, but the psychology of relief. When a sedative works, it does more than induce drowsiness. It delivers certainty. It promises control in a season of life that often feels defined by unpredictability. Careers peak or pivot, children leave or struggle, parents age, bodies send new signals. Against that backdrop, a pill that guarantees unconsciousness can feel like stability itself. Yet beneath that promise lies a quiet paradox that thinkers like Dr. Anna Lemke have explored with clinical precision. The same substances that soothe distress can, through repetition, amplify the very suffering they were meant to resolve. The brain's reward circuitry is not concerned with your long-term flourishing. It is calibrated for immediate adaptation. Each time external sedation replaces internal regulation, the nervous system learns that sleep is no longer an endogenous capacity, but an imported state. Neurochemically, this shift is subtle but profound. Benzodiazepines and Z drugs enhance GABAergic inhibition, dampening neuronal excitability across cortical and limbic regions. In response, the brain compensates. GABA receptors become less sensitive. Excitatory pathways increase their relative influence. Dopamine, the currency of reinforcement learning, encodes the association between pill and relief. The experience of finally falling asleep after hours of restlessness imprints deeply. The hippocampus tags it as meaningful. The striatum logs it as reward. Over time, the absence of the medication does not simply mean the absence of sedation. It can mean the presence of heightened arousal. This is the neurobiological basis of tolerance and withdrawal. The brain has adjusted its baseline. Here is where suspense enters the story, because the consequences do not announce themselves dramatically at first. They accumulate quietly. A slightly higher dose, a refill requested a little earlier, a morning fog that feels like aging but is actually cognitive slowing. Research has demonstrated associations between long-term benzodiazepine use and impairments in attention, memory consolidation, and psychomotor speed. For a professional in midlife, those subtle deficits matter. Decision-making becomes less crisp. Emotional regulation feels harder. Sleep may appear longer in duration, but shallower in restorative depth. The architecture of natural slow-wave sleep can be altered by chronic sedation, meaning that even chemically induced unconsciousness does not replicate physiologic rest. And then comes the moment many people dread, attempting to stop. Abrupt discontinuation can trigger rebound insomnia, heightened anxiety, tremors, even perceptual disturbances in severe cases. The brain, having outsourced inhibition, reacts to the sudden absence of pharmacologic support with a surge of excitability. Nights become battlegrounds again, sometimes worse than before treatment began. It is in this cycle that dependence tightens its grip, not because of moral weakness, but because the neurobiology of adaptation is relentless. The system is doing exactly what it evolved to do: maintain equilibrium. Yet this is not a story of inevitability. It is a story of awareness. When you understand that the midlife brain is plastic, that receptor sensitivity can recalibrate, that circadian rhythms can be strengthened, you reclaim agency. The suspense is not whether sleep will change. It is whether you will interpret those changes as a signal to numb or a signal to retrain. The difference determines whether the night becomes a teacher or a trap. The path forward begins with a shift in orientation, from suppressing symptoms to strengthening systems. Sleep is not a switch you flip. It is a biological process you cultivate. The brain requires consistent circadian cues, metabolic balance, emotional regulation, and cognitive quiet to generate restorative sleep architecture. Evidence-based behavioral interventions, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, demonstrate that the nervous system can be retrained. Stimulus control reassociates the bed with sleep rather than rumination. Sleep restriction consolidates fragmented rest by building homeostatic pressure. Strategic light exposure anchors the suprachiasmatic nucleus, reinforcing circadian rhythm stability. Gradual tapering protocols, supervised by qualified clinicians, allow GABA receptors to recalibrate and endogenous inhibition to re-emerge. None of this is instant. All of it is possible. Midlife offers a paradoxical advantage: experience. By 40 or 50, you understand patterns in your own behavior. You recognize how late-night screen exposure elevates cognitive arousal, how alcohol fragments REM sleep, how unresolved stress reverberates in the dark. The same neuroplasticity that permitted tolerance can facilitate recovery. Dopamine pathways that once reinforced medication reliance can begin to encode new rewards. The satisfaction of disciplined routines, the clarity of waking refreshed without chemical assistance, the quiet confidence of self-regulation. The brain is not static. It is responsive to repeated inputs. When those inputs change, so does the outcome. Hyperarousal, the engine of chronic insomnia, often reflects a life lived at maximum output. Slowing the body becomes essential. Deliberate wind-down rituals signal safety to the limbic system. Slow diaphragmatic breathing enhances vagal tone, counterbalancing sympathetic activation. Mindfulness practices reduce default mode network overactivity, decreasing rumination. Regular aerobic exercise improves sleep efficiency by increasing adenosine accumulation and enhancing slow-wave sleep propensity. These interventions are not superficial lifestyle tips. They are neurophysiological levers. They act on cortisol rhythms, inflammatory markers, and neurotransmitter balance. Over weeks and months, they rebuild the brain's confidence in its own capacity to sleep. There will be nights when progress feels invisible. During medication tapering, transient rebound insomnia can surface even with careful reduction. This does not signify failure. It reflects recalibration. The brain is learning to generate inhibition without pharmacologic amplification. Each drug-free night, even if imperfect, strengthens intrinsic regulation. Over time, awakenings shorten. Sleep depth increases. Morning cognition sharpens. The fog lifts not because of a new prescription, but because neural systems have regained autonomy. Midlife sleep changes are real. They are rooted in shifting hormones, evolving circadian timing, and accumulated stress exposure. Yet they do not mandate lifelong dependence on sedatives. When you understand the interplay between GABA, dopamine, cortisol, and circadian biology, fear gives way to strategy. You begin to see insomnia not as an enemy to silence, but as feedback from a nervous system asking for recalibration. The work requires discipline and patience, but it restores something profoundly valuable: trust in your own physiology. If you are navigating lighter sleep, earlier awakenings, or the complexities of reducing sedative use, remember that adaptation is reversible. The same brain that learned reliance can learn resilience. Restoration is not instantaneous, but it is attainable through structured behavioral change and informed medical guidance. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.